Frank, you guys pushed the pace real early and got out that lead. Why is that hard to sustain, I guess?
I think we're pretty active, and then they started to go on a run, and we kind of broke down on defensive end, and we didn't do our job, and they made some tough shots, and we didn't really communicate in transition.
What about as good as you can start a game, though?
Yeah, I think that's the best we started a game, in the past few games that we played in. We have to do that every game moving forward, so we can have momentum throughout the game.
What was different about it? Just you guys more aggressive, getting after. You had a bunch of steals early. I mean, was it just a mindset thing?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think we're pretty active. We're in the right spot. Coach tell us all the time, you don't even have to play good defense. If you're just in the right spot, sometimes the other team just give you the ball, and I think we're in great position on the defensive end, and we made some plays.
Devonte, you guys work on that half-court trap a lot? You like playing that half-court pressure?
Us?
Yeah.
Yeah, we work on it in practice all the time. Just trying to cause a little chaos in the backcourt, unexpectedly, and get some turnovers.
Devonte, how would you grade on the offense today?
Coming out, we did a good job. We were moving the ball well. I think we went in a little slump. We didn't score for like 4 or 5 minutes, but I think for the most part we did a good job trying to, be aggressive, drive downhill, and execute and coach ball plays.
What's a big part of the game plan, trying to get inside and test the Texas space?
Definitely. We're trying to, go at them, get them in foul trouble, while also trapping them down on the other end and keep our bigs out of foul trouble. So yeah.
Josh, was it something Texas was doing that caused the turnover problems, or just you guys being a little sloppy?
A combination of both. Being a little sloppy, they switched defenses a couple times out there, so kind of threw us off a little bit.
Yeah, so they were dropping off you, so how big was it to hit those 2 threes?
Oh, it was pretty big. Haven't been shooting it that well this year, but the biggest thing that coach and my teammates tell me is when I'm open just to shoot it, they believe I'm a decent shooter, so just got to have confidence in it and just let it go.
All right, let's break it up. That's it.
Okay, guys.
Frank said he would give the offense about a 7 or 8 out of 10 today. What would you rate it? What do you think the offense did?
Well, we didn't shoot it great, but we ended up shooting, I can't even see it. We ended up shooting 47, I guess, and shot the 3-ball good. But I think the thing offensively that we did so poorly is our unforced turnovers again. I mean, that's 2 games in a row where we give, I think we had 18 in Ames and 16 today, where we just, for no reason, just turned it over. Bad turnovers too, and so I think if you take away turnovers, we were probably pretty efficient. But certainly that broke the game open, or fragmented the game. I don't think you can look too good when you turned over that much.
And how much do those turnovers concern you ahead of playing the team in the post-Richard?
Well, they do all the time. Is there something wrong with this thing? Right here, there's an echo.
Gary?
But they turnovers obviously bother any coach anytime. But the thing about it is, against West Virginia, you're going to turn it over enough because they force you to turn it over. You can't just give them the ball whenever they don't force you to. And tonight, I thought Texas played good defense, but our turnovers were bad ones, I thought.
Bill, Josh had 6 of those. How does that stack up in what you see in his whole game right now?
I didn't think Josh had a good game today, by his standards. It was a game where he could have had 25 real easy. Try to make great plays when great plays aren't there, drive the ball back into the help. There were several things, or not several, there were 3 or 4 things I think he could do good. The last play, you got an uncontested basket, you try to make it into an alley-oop. I mean, it's an easy basket, and we made it harder than what it was. But I mean, he didn't play poorly, but I don't think he played quite as well, and I thought he was pretty careless with the ball.
How much is that he has to just feel it? I mean, I know you snap your fingers, you love him to just, know how to know when to do what, but where is that coming from?
Well, I personally think with Josh, you know, he got aggressive players always turn the ball over more than non-aggressive players. I mean, you know, there's a reason why Westbrook has more turnovers than anybody, because he tries to make a play every possession, and there's a reason why, you know, some guys' assist to turnover ratios are unbelievable because they don't take a lot of chances. Josh is going to be a player that takes chances, and we want him to. But the thing about it is, with him, I don't think that he's picking his spots, or didn't today. For instance, you know, if you drive it back the direction where all the help is, or you know, you make an easy play harder, which I think we do quite a bit. You know, but you know, whether he has 6 turnovers or 2 turnovers, I don't think you look at that and say that's the reason why he didn't play well, or he did. I think sometimes your numbers can run up, especially if you're a big guy, always trying to get to the ball, the basket off the bounce. But he just got to pick his spots, I think, a little bit more wisely.
You guys have a knack for timely shots. I mean, anytime a team kind of makes a run, there's somebody, and it can be different guys that will step up and knock down a big shot. Is that veterans? Is that execution? Is that mental toughness? What is that?
I hope it's a little bit of everything, but you know, Speed didn't have a big game today, but he made, you know, a couple of timely plays. Devonte didn't do, you know, he didn't scratch the second half until the end, and that was you know, obviously that was the nail, you know, so to speak. And then, you know, different guys step up. You know, Landon hadn't scored the whole game, but he makes 2 free throws that kind of keeps it at 8 or 10 or 6 or whatever it was. So we have had different players step up and make positive plays when the game was on the line.
Is there a frustration level with not putting your throat on teams, or is it just other teams reacting?
I would say today we were so good early, you're not going to keep playing that way. And Texas, we kind of staggered them early, and then the law of averages prevailed. They fought back, but still, it was a, you know, I don't think you should apologize for playing somebody even for a 10-minute period if they're playing well. But you know, so many things. You score at the end of the clock, or you score late first half, and then you give up a second shot basket. There's so many momentum plays that good teams, to be honest, don't do, and we certainly haven't quite conquered those things. But I would give Texas credit. I don't think we played well. I thought the second half was very fragmented, no rhythm, which I think probably played to Texas' favor, and we didn't ever get much rhythm second half because there's a lot of stoppages. But I didn't think we played poorly. I just don't think that we played great.
Devonte had 15 and just 7 shots in the first half. It didn't look like he was looking to score.
I know.
Would you like to see him just?
Yeah, it's happened too often. You know, he's had several games where it's one half has been polar opposite of the other half. Now, he didn't play bad the second half, but he didn't put himself in position to score near as much. Whereas the first half, he was looking for a shot. But he made a big one there when it counted, and certainly, you get a guy that has 18 points and 5 assists and no turnovers. You're not going to say that that's a poor game. I mean, obviously that's a great game, floor game, but he had the chance to really have a big night tonight, and just didn't seem near as aggressive the second half.
But what about Jared Allen's?
Yeah, there's a reason why we won. You know, he was the best player in the game. You know, obviously, 22 and 19 as a freshman, and you know, Landon played sick the whole day, and you know, he did his best to hold his own in there, but certainly his length gave us problems, and his offensive rebounding, he was really, really good. But he's a terrific talent.
Bill said kind of the plan was to trap him when he was in the post. He did have 6 turnovers. How do you kind of feel about the job he did in that?
Well, we trapped both of them, he and Shaq both, when they caught the ball in the post, and they turned it over early. That was a big reason why we had got off to a nice start, is because they turned it over too, and we were able to get some runouts and things like that. But I thought the first half, I thought our defense was pretty darn good. The second half, it wasn't like they scored more points, but I didn't think our defense was near as intense the second half.
Bill, nearly halfway through the Big 12 conference schedule, how would you evaluate this team, and where would you like them to grow most moving forward?
Well, we got 2 more games to get to halfway, but we're almost there. And I think that we played pretty well consistently. I think that's one thing about our team. We've been fairly consistent. I still think there's another gear we can go to. I still think there's another big step. I don't think we're all quite on the same page yet, like championship caliber teams have to be in order to have success late. But I mean, we're not in a bad place by any means, but we're in a place that I think there's still improvement that can be made.
Coach, you have a really tough stretch ahead of you on the schedule with West Virginia, Baylor, Kentucky. What do you want to see out of your guys over the next 2 games?
Well, I would even take it further. I don't know who we play after the K-State game, but you're looking at West Virginia, Kentucky, Baylor, Iowa State at K-State. So those are all games that you know are obviously winnable and losable games. So you know it's nice. We can't be in a better position than we're in right now, but if we, you know, it would be nice if we kick it into another gear, because if we don't, then we'll be looking 2 weeks from now, looking at the situation saying, okay, it's anybody's race. And it still is anybody's race, but certainly we put ourselves in a decent position. Now we have to capitalize on our efforts so far. And you know, we've always had teams that perform well in stretches, and we had teams that didn't perform well in stretches. And this is a stretch that is probably about as tough as we've had since I've been here, I believe.
Particularly